Alrighty, hello, my name is Alex Matter. This will be our phase two, our project phase two video demonstration. I'll be walking you through the design and definition of the database schema, so just following the DDL scripts that we submitted. We created 7 tables for each one. We carefully picked the data types. And so I will start with the author table. For primary key author ID, we use serial primary key, which is the most reliable way to generate unique auto incrementing ID numbers, pretty much. The author's name is stored using varchar 255. Next, we can move on to the biggest table, which is our book table, and that holds the most data and requires, of course, more types. So we used decimal to 1 for average rating because it allows you to do more precise ratings like 4.5. So you can go in between. And then we included a check so make sure your rating 0 to 5. So all the ratings are consistent. And then for longer stuff like the description, we use text since it's more flexible. Following that, we have the book table or book author table. Sorry. This is considered a bridge table because it allows us to map the books to authors because a single book can have multiple authors and an author can write many books. So connects the two entities that way. And then what do we have next? Oh yeah, the book genre table does the exact same thing. And then after that, we have the genre table, which is straightforward. We define genre ID using serial primary key, just like before, and used varchar 100 for the genre name. Then we have the reading list table, which tracks what users are doing. We use the check here on the constraint for on the status column. So a user can only set statuses to things like reading or completed, which helps clean up the data and keep it clean. So just like the book rating, we also use decimal to 1 for the user rating to maintain precision. And then finally, we have the user table. Key takeaway here is the created at column where we use the timestamp with the default now. And so that allows us to accurately log the exact date and time that a user created their account. So now I will pass it on to Anish for the next part.
For the data population, I would like to explain where we got the data from. So we downloaded a huge CSV file from it's a Kaggle dataset. So it was not very clean. So we needed to pre-process it. So we used a Jupyter notebook to clear off all the null data and remove duplicates and the other parts of pre-processing the data went through that, and we distributed data, this one CSV file, into 7 other CSV files that are corresponding to the 7 tables that we have in our database. I'm going to first create all the tables using a script, and this is a script for importing all the data from every single CSV file into the respective table. And we use the same script for all the tables wherein I have specified the location of the CSV file and the table name and the columns in which I want to import the data. It's same for all the 7 tables, and when I run the script, it'll probably take like a few seconds, but it's going to import data from all the 7 CSV files and populate our 7 tables. We're going to try and verify some of the tables if they are populated. So the user table has just one user now, which is a dummy user um, we created for now. But if we see the book table, it's populated with several books with all the different columns like title, description, book format, and the other columns. If you look at the genre table, then it has the genre ID mapped to the name of that genre. Similarly, with the author table, the author name is mapped to a unique author ID. There's a book author table, which is the bridge table, which maps the book ID to the author ID. We can see that there's for the book ID 2, there's two author IDs. That means that two authors have collaborated on writing that particular book. Similarly, for book genres, it's the same thing, where the genre ID is mapped with the book ID. So this is just so that it's simpler and more efficient to query our database with specific books and their particular genres. And now I'm going to hand it over to Niharika to explain the SQL scripts that we wrote for our database.
Okay, so I'll be talking about the two select queries that we were required to prepare for our application use cases. So I'll start off by talking about the first one. So this first query retrieves the list of 10 books where the average rating is under 2 along with all their authors. And the results are grouped by book and then sorted by rating in descending order. And then we also use two joins because of how our tables are structured. So if we run it, we have all the book titles, the authors, and then the average rating, and they're ordered in descending order. And then for our second select query, this query lists the top 10 genres with the highest number of unique books, and we made sure to count each book only once per genre. And then here we're using a left join between the genre table and the um, book genre table, and we do this because a genre might not have any books assigned, and like a left join will ensure that those genres will show up in the results. So if we run that, we have the table for that here as well. And then Lorenzo will talk about the insert, update, and delete queries.
Yeah, so insert is basically we have values of email, a password, a reader, and their user. So we just insert into user, which specifies which table to insert data into. So we have like a column list, like an email, a password hash, the display name, and the raw. So this contains the actual data to insert. So for example, reader123@example.com goes into an email column. The hash password goes into a password hash column, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so once we display, it inserts their information to a table. And then we have our update, which selects from a reading list so it could view the current state of read list table before making any changes. So it shows all the reading list entries from the current values, the user ID, book ID, progress page, user rate, and then reading list, progress pages, and so on and so forth. So this defines what value to change. So for example, progress pages equals to 150. So this is what the user has read, 150, or all pages if book has 150. User rating of 4.8, which is the user rates of the book, and the where, which specifies which row to update. Yeah, so there will update and ensure we update only one specific reading list entry. And then we have our delete queries. So we'll delete from a read list, so the reading list specifies which table to remove the data from. Our where class specifies which rows to delete. So for example, where user ID 1 is a user with the ID 1, the book ID of 25, which is the book with the ID of 25, and this targets one specific reading list entry. So the database permanently removes the user ID of 1, and then the book ID. So no data is returned unless you want it to. Yeah, so there it is, removed book list entry. And then that's it for me.